Woo!
Live.
Going live again. Happy Valentine's Day,
Happy
y'all.
Valentine's
Welcome
Day.
into another episode of Just Like Us.
Yes.
I'm your host, Justin Bird. This is my lovely co-host, Leti Zito. How you doing, Leti?
I'm great.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Woo!
Valentine's Day.
Yes, let's go. Happy B-Day to all you guys out there and all the lovebirds and everything you're doing. God bless you all.
Yes.
Welcome in. So today it is Valentine's Day, and we chose to discuss something not related to Valentine's Day, but we're gonna get into Valentine's Day stuff. So,
Okay.
creating daily rituals for success is gonna be the topic today. So we're gonna dive into that. But again, happy Valentine's Day to all the lovebirds and everybody out there. What a great day to be alive and to be in love. Even if you're not in love, what a great day to have love. We
Yes.
all got love somewhere. So
Before we get into it, I just want to give a special shout out to my brother,
yes,
Delpho. Happy birthday.
happy
and my
birthday,
niece,
Delpho.
Shelby.
Yes, Shelby
Happy
too.
birthday.
Happy birthday,
and
y'all.
all the Valentine babies born today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Should
Happy
we sing them a
Valentine's
little
Day.
happy birthday? What do you think?
Yes.
Ready? Here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dalpo and Shelby. Happy birthday to you. Go, baby. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy birthday to you guys. Let's go, baby.
All right.
So,
daily rituals for
for
success.
success. You know what I mean? And this is a big one. This is a big one because we are both now, Letty and I, have been in progression for having success. And success meaning not having to go slave for the man and to be able to work for ourselves. So, you know, whether you're working a 9 to 5 or not, I am right now, both of us are, progressing toward not having to go and leave the house and get in the vehicle and have to go, work for somebody else. The goal is to work for ourselves. So we are creating daily rituals in order to be able to work for ourselves. And that means, being pretty regimented and like being really strict about certain things. And some of those things include having the ability to stay focused and put our energy where it really really matters, and staying on point with certain things and having habits that trigger habits that allow us to be able to stay focused. Something I would like to give an example of is when I get in my vehicle now, when I go off and I go to work, I no longer listen to music, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's just I've learned and developed a habit of turning on something that I'm going to be learning from, whether it be for business and for things that I'm learning towards to be able to gain freedom from working a 9 to 5. So one of the trigger habits that I have is being able to listen to something that's motivational, something that's going to teach me something I can learn from. So there's one of the habits that I have developed, over the past, I would say past year, really.
Yeah.
It's just, kind of like just focusing on what I can do to, better myself and be able to, narrow it down, having a daily ritual for
And
success.
for me, it's the opposite. I get in my car and that's the first thing I do is music. And that's because it motivates me and it speaks to me. Like I learn something from the music that I listen to, but I also set aside time, right, to listen to, certain podcasts or certain teachers and mentors that, help inspire me or, give me a boost when I'm like, what do I do? Right. Because I haven't had a 9 to 5 in almost 2 years.
Lucky.
And
That's awesome.
thanks to you.
That's awesome.
And-
No, somebody's got to do it, right? And hey, I'm glad for you though. It's awesome.
Thank you.
That's a pretty
Thank
big deal.
you.
You know what I mean?
It is
Something,
a big
we're
deal.
working on it. We're working
Yeah.
on it. We're going to say working on it.
We're
Get
working
in,
on it.
Say yeah.
We're working on it. But with that being said, I was very, very regimented. I mean, I had a schedule like for everything.
Big time.
And it's been an interesting thing to not have this schedule. Like, how do I create a schedule for myself? And we have a big, whiteboard that we write things on that we want to accomplish, or we need to accomplish a certain task that needs to be done. We write it on there and then we work together, or even separately to accomplish those. And it is small steps, right? You can't eat the elephant one bite at a time. You could try, but it's those small steps that lead to lasting
Right,
success.
Yeah, and
So,
success it isn't built in a day. You know what I mean? It's built in habits, small steps that lead to big wins. It's really just that's what I've come to learn too. Is like we got into school and the thought was we're going to get into this academy and things are going to start panning out to where we're going to start making money, and that wasn't the case. That doesn't mean like it's going to be that for everybody. For us, it was like really learning steps and curves that we had to go through to understand like, okay, well, this isn't what we thought. Not in a bad way. It's just there's a lot more to running a business, owning your own business, and being an entrepreneur. And so we learned a lot of things so far, like the hard way. But you know, when you don't know what you don't know, then you know you're gonna learn somehow. So for us, it's just been taking these. We've been taking some. We've actually had some time to reflect and be able to look back on what we've done, but at the same time, we made some mistakes that have been costly, but again, we're learning from it. It's not that we know we made these mistakes, we're not able to gain something from it. So, you know, rituals create consistency. And so by continuously showing up for ourselves and doing things consistently, we're able to like build that muscle memory, so to speak. You know, it's like able to, you know, you're not going to continue to, like right now I was putting my tie on and I didn't even have to look at it. And I know how to tie this tie without even looking. And before, not before today, but, you know, when I started tying ties, I'd have to be in the mirror and you got to kind of get, you know, it kind of get unorthodox in a sense. But now I know how to tie it with, you know, muscle memory. So that's just you know, just like how I built, you know, consistency with that. I know how to tie a tie without looking. It's kind of a silly thing to you know, to reference, but that's just kind of what I would say is continuously, you know, showing up for myself. And what we do daily shapes the future for, you know, what we want to do, you know, and not just like occasionally. What we really want to do is be consistent, because consistency for me is really panning out for, you know, everything in my everyday life. So, you know, it's really simple habits are massive impact, you know, morning routines, you know, gratitude movement.
what are some of your daily habits? Like what's your morning routine? What's it look like?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. So I get up and first thing I do is I take a shower, because that gets me up. Like I'm tired. I don't drink coffee anymore. So like, and sometimes it's cold. You know, sometimes I get up and it's cold. So like getting in the shower, like it wakes me up. And so get up. You know, jump in the water, get out, and then I get ready for work. But again, like when I start really like forming these habits is after I get out and I start getting ready for work, and then I get in my vehicle. When I get in my vehicle, that's when I'm like more geared toward the day starting, because of course, like it's like I'm in manual mode after that. It's like, you know, I'm like, kind of like a robot. I get up in the morning and I do what I have to do to kind of like wake up, and then once I get my vehicle, and then it's time to really go. But after I get my vehicle, that's when I put on something that I can either learn from, because I'm either going to drive for, you know, from state to state sometimes, or, you know, like in another city. So I've got some time to reflect, and often I will just be in my own thoughts, you know. But I find I don't watch TV, you know. And when I do, it's like you can ask Letty, it's the universe, or it's something like a documentary or something to that effect. And so I like the habits that I have now. Being a businessman is like I'm geared more toward, you know, financial stability and what I can do to start things, and like, you know, so I can have something pan out from it, instead of just like, you know, don't get me wrong, there's days where I chill on the couch, but it's not too often. You know, it's I'm really creating a good like a regimen for myself, so that I have, you know, the consistency that I need. And that's not like today I took a nap and I wasn't able to sleep. I really tried, but I'm like, you know, in the back of my mind, like there's a lot of things that I have to do. And so I end up laying down, get back up, and having to go back at it. But, you know, it's really building that like a catalyst, so to speak, to, you know, we get so comfortable. I feel we get so comfortable in our everyday lives, like being relaxed, being comfortable, and being, you know, that I think for being an entrepreneur or somebody who wants to be financially stable, because I mean, let's just face it, like we're stable, but we're not like, you know, there's days where we're like, we wish we had more, right? We wish we had, so we can go travel and not have to worry so much on, you know, just paying the bills. We want to live more than just paying the bills. We want to be able to go see the world. We want to be able to have nicer things. And not that we don't appreciate what we have, but it'd be nice to have, you know, a new carpet or new, you know, new things that we could use. So, but that's the goal. It's like, you know, baby steps, and having like that, you know, and building up that, you know, that consistency that we're doing. And it feels good, because it's taken a year from us, you know, from being starting school till now. And boy, what a we've made so many monumental changes. It's amazing though. We have come a long way. You know, we really have. We have come a long way, and we're still here 6 years strong. And happy Valentine's Day to us, because we deserve it. I mean, we're dressed to impress, but we feel like there's so many things that we could work on in our life, but we're working on them, and when we're making moves, we're making things happen because we're showing up every day for ourselves, being consistent. Um, I'm not sure if we had did we have a live since we seen Master P?
We did. It was
okay.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I want to touch on this again for those who didn't see. We had a class with Master P, the one and only Master P himself, and I was able to go up first and speak what I had to speak and ask him a question, and ask him this really epic question, and he gave me a really great answer, and it felt good because we're consistently showing up, and we may not be showing up like like other people maybe, but for me, I'm doing a lot by me showing up every day, being consistent. I'm a good brother, I'm a good friend, and I feel like I feel really good about the things that I do. But being consistent to me is I find to be one of the most important things that I'm doing, because I haven't really had all that much consistency in my life. Overall, we moved everywhere, we were homeless, all these several things that happened that were, could shake somebody. Now with Leti, I've had so much like stability, consistency. It's been really, really nice to be able to wake up knowing what I'm doing.
And I'm just, it's so weird because we had all this consistency, and so did I, right? And now I'm sort of like just trying to stay open, right, to what God, what the universe has for me. And I'm, I'm struggling a little bit with, with consistency. Like I know what it looks like because I've done it my whole life. I've had it my whole life too, even in the chaos and the being around drugs and alcohol and just, anger and everything. That was the one thing my mom gave us, right, was consistency. We had, stability, we had chores, we had things that we had to do, right? And so I'm just sort of, I feel like I'm like, out here on my own, but I'm still able to do things, right? I'm still able to, like, self-reflection, I think is crucial. It plays a big role in what you're consistent about. It's what you think about the most, right? It grows, and you can grow in that consistency. And so I'm just, I'm in like a different spot in my life, right? Where I'm just kind of like trusting, the process, trusting, what God is leading me to. I've always listened to other people and what other people think I need to be doing. And it's not that those things are bad, right? But I'm having to follow what my soul is longing for. And it may not look like, what everybody else's process, but I'm consistent in seeking, right, the truth for myself.
Right.
I'm very consistent in that. That's really important to me, and it's panning out for me. And of course, there's been failures, there have been setbacks, right? But we don't let that define, right, who we are, how we show up,
right?
Yeah. It's even on those tough days, right, when you don't even want to get out of bed, or at least for me, I can't speak for you, but for me, there's days I'm like, I don't even want to get up, right? But it's thinking about, those small habits that I need to do so that I can have that success.
Being disciplined. I mean, like, to me, discipline beats motivation, because I'm motivated as heck, but being disciplined is a whole other beast. I mean, you won't always feel like it's rich, like it ritually keeps you going when motivation fades. Like if you're, like, I'm highly motivated, but it fades. That motivation. Let's just be real. Like my motivation is well, something shiny or whatever it is that that interrupts that motivation, because I mean, I'm highly motivated, but at times I feel like, I not getting discouraged, but it's easy to get sidetracked on things. And so the motivation comes from, being motivated to, having to do something else, and it kind of throws me off, and so discipline, to me, beats motivation any day. So having discipline is something, I think it's like it's a mental strength that I feel like I can work on more, but I also feel like I show up for me better than anyone else, right? So, but being disciplined is I'm working on it, and I'm doing well at it, because again, I have been staying strong with substance, no longer. alcohol, no more, and nicotine, nah.
Yeah, I think it's making a decision. Like that's the first step. It's making a decision about what you need to do, what you want to do,
Yeah,
right? What
right, yeah.
step you need to take to give you success.
Let's
Right.
go.
So, and writing it down, right? I'm not like big on
I don't write it down 'cause
calendars,
I won't go back to the notes.
but I am big, you know, on writing it down, like writing down what I want to accomplish. And then, you know, not beating myself up if, you know, I didn't accomplish those, even if I did one out of the five things, I'm a happy camper. And that
Right,
was
yeah.
difficult for me because, you know, I was such a high achiever. You know, I was always go, 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 go. And okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing that I didn't even enjoy? You know, I didn't even enjoy that success. I didn't even give myself credit for the things that I was doing. And
Right.
so I think that's important
Right,
too,
yeah.
right? Is giving yourself credit, you know, patting yourself on the back for what you are accomplishing, you know,
Right,
no
yeah.
matter how small it or insignificant you think it is, right? Every step towards what you want is a win.
Right, yeah. Rituals create consistency, and in my opinion, you know, I mean, you have these rituals can sound like it could be something that, you know, when you're chanting and, you know, you're ritualistic, but like having a ritual, a regimen, something that you can, you know, can do on a daily basis. It's another glamorous word for consistency. You want to have
Mm.
something that, you know, you want to be ritualistic about certain things. Some people, you know, like rituals create consistency. You know, what you do daily shapes your future more than what you do occasionally. You know.
Yeah, and I think that surrounding yourself with, you know, people that help keep you accountable, help you,
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
also
Let's
move
go.
towards your goals, right?
Yes, y'all know who you are.
Reaching, yeah, and reaching out, right, when you are struggling is beneficial also,
Yeah.
right? And having that support system that, you know, keeps you, I just said this, keeps you accountable.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you know,
It's huge. I feel it really
really
is.
it
I
is.
have people
It's a
that,
big part of
I'm
it,
able
I
to
think.
call on a daily basis that answer, and it feels
Mhm.
good to have the ability to answer for them. You know what I mean? And it really does help having the people who really care showing up for you, that you can show back up for them.
Mhm.
I love that feeling of knowing that you can count on someone. You know, and that's a huge compliment to get, is to know that you can count on those people, and it shows, like, you know, people really care when you know, when you're doing things that you're doing and people show up for you, you know, and like the people who are on right now, like I reached out to some of you guys, and to see that we got 3 views. We can't see you guys' comments. We haven't worked it out yet. We're working it out,
Right.
but you know what I mean, we still haven't, but we love to see, you know, knowing that I was able to reach out to the few people that I was able to
Mhm.
reach and have them on here. Like, thank you guys so much for being here, because the ones who are on here are most likely the people who I'm able to call up on a daily basis. And, you know, that really does matter. It really does help to have you guys in our corner and vice versa, because you guys know dang well I'm going to be there for you. You know what I mean? Just like you guys are for me. And so, you know, that's, you can't build that overnight. But some of the relationships I have been like, I can almost guarantee that the few people that are on here I probably met within this past year, you know, in 2024. And it's amazing to see how much you can grow in a short period of time, because it's not always about how the extended time that you've met and known somebody, because I've had some relationships here just in the past year that are phenomenal, that are like monumental, that are huge in my life, that I don't need to know them my whole life. You know, these people are super close to me and I haven't known them more than a year, but that's okay, because I feel like I've known them my whole life. And you guys know who you are. You know what I mean? So it's that really does help me, because I want to feel validated. I want to feel valued. I want to, you know, I do. I want to feel like I'm a somebody, and a somebody to me is, you know, when people show up and they're able to, you know, see you for who you are, you know, and it really, to me, it's like, you know, our real friends, you know, they allow us to be ourselves, and they still continue to show up, you know. I mean, sometimes I can be an ass, sometimes I can be a bit much, you know, but I feel like I'm a great friend, you know. I do. I feel like I show up, and you know, I could be a bit much. I could be a bit much, but a bit much meaning, you know, sometimes I have a lot of energy. Sometimes I say things that, you know, that are kind of out there, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that 100%, because again, what the topic is, creating daily rituals for success. And I think having those people around me who have been around me, like I've gone so far in the past year,
who have their own success, right?
Right.
Who
Yeah.
know where, you know, who have been where we want to go.
Right.
Right. I mean, if you've never been there before, you don't know, what that road looks like. And so, it's important, right, to have those people around us that are like, oh yeah, let's steer you over here, but also give you the room to make mistakes, also give you the room to try things out for yourself, and support you on that. They don't judge you. They're not like, oh, I wouldn't do that, or they allow us the room to grow and become what we're becoming.
Love. Yeah, I mean, today's the day of love, and you don't have to be in a relationship to be in love, because
That's right.
I'm in love with myself. And as bad as that may sound, I am. Because again,
Sound
like
bad at all.
I am my biggest, star player. I really am. I root for myself, and I gotta say, man, I'm fresh. I feel good. I'm amazing. And I do, and I feel great.
Yeah.
But like consistency is, stick with it even when hard times come about. Adjust and don't quit. Success is built in the moments you push through. You know what I mean? Like having the right people around is definitely a plus, but really having consistency on a daily ritual is like, it starts from within. You know what I mean? It is great to have people who push you. I was on a conversation today on a Zoom call. Out of nowhere, I was just like, there was so much love given to me today, and I stumbled upon like this great family, and like and I was thinking about it. I was talking to my sister Glenda earlier, and I was thinking how many opportunities have come about by me showing up, by me simply showing up and raising my hand and asking questions, and putting my input, and showing I care. Like, the consistency of my daily rituals are coming from me showing up, not just for myself, but for other people, because people really like to see that. People really enjoy knowing that somebody's going to be there for them, even when they don't expect it. You know what I mean? Even when, just, I was able to send my daughter some flowers today, and it felt really good to be able to do that. It felt really good to be able to do that. And I'm not, I'm not the best person in the world, but I feel like I'm getting there. I feel like I'm starting to be able to feel a whole lot better about me as a parent, me as a dad, me as a father, because I have 3 children, and I am a dad to 2, and my daughter Bria, she's the most amazing person, and I have been working on our relationship, and I'm so blessed to have her in my life, Julia in my life, Justin Lee, he's here. Like, I'm really blessed to have these amazing kids in my life and have the love that we're able to have on Valentine's Day, because this isn't just for lovebirds. Today is about love in general. We don't have to be in love with somebody and significant other. We can have love from your children, your mom, your grandma, your dog. I mean, there's so many things that, Valentine's Day isn't just about, sitting under a tree making out, or like, chocolates, and like, it's really, there's so much to say for today. Today's a great day to remind ourselves of, love is probably the most essential thing that we can have. Don't get me wrong. You need water, you need sunlight, you need to be alive with breath, you need to have food, but really, like, I don't think you got love is so essential in my everyday life. Like, I really, again, I've been alone, and I think it's the most terrifying thing to not have love. My saying is, I'd rather be loved than hated, but I'd rather be hated than nothing. And I mean, that says a lot to me. It's just, I go back to the prison thing of like being away from people. It's terrifying. Show me that I'm anything other than nothing. I would rather be hated than nothing at all, because it is really a lonely feeling when you don't have anybody to even tell you, they hate you, or let alone they love you. So today's a great day to be alive, and I'm blessed to have, the people here that are here with us. So, again, thank you guys so much. This is a great feeling. So, you know what I mean? Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. We've got a few minutes left, and just touching on the subject of showing up for ourselves, being consistent, creating daily ritual for success. It's been really helpful to be able to look in the mirror and say, man, you're doing great. You're doing what you need to do on a daily basis. And there's days where I'm not always feeling it, but for the most part, I feel like I'm pretty consistent with myself, showing up for me, putting that oxygen mask on, and being able to be a good me for whatever it is that I'm doing. And I'm learning. There's so many things where, like, I get on the computer, I'm like, oh my gosh, but I'm getting on there. You know what I mean? And I may get sidetracked. When I say twacked, yes, I may get sidetracked real easily, but I get back at it. You know what I mean? If I fall off, I get back on the horse, and I continue moving.
That, I think, is what you just said, falling off the horse and getting back up. Even if you stay down for a minute, you don't stay there.
Right.
You keep getting back up and keep getting back up and showing up for yourself. And for me, I was always showing up for like other people, right? And so for me to where I'm at now, I'm like, ooh, what does that look like to show up for myself, right? I'm still learning what that looks like for me without, having to compromise my relationships with other people. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's learning, how do I show up for me first? That's what I mean,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
How do I show up
Absolutely.
for me first without feeling guilt or shame or like, oh my God, what are they going to think if I'm showing up for me, right? It doesn't mean pushing them to the side. It just means, how do I show up for me? What does that look like
I'll be
for
pushing heads
me?
up, man. Watch out, man. Get out the way.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding. But if I have to, I
yeah.
will. And I'm learning to do that now more than ever because, one thing is like we have class and sometimes you have to share a spot with people. And it's, and this is just an example. When you have an hour in class, right? And you
Mm,
have to share the spot with three people, the courtesy side of me wants to give them, their 20 minutes each. And so 20 minutes is for me not always enough for me to be able to get what I need. So I'm pushing hands. Hell on, let me get mine first. I'm first to raise my hand, and I'm not afraid of it. I'm not ashamed to. I'm not being rude to anybody. I'm just saying for
mm,
me, like I'm in that phase right now where I'm like, I've been kind. I'm okay with being, generous and being sincere
yeah.
with people and but really like I really want to be able to get what I need to get from what I'm getting. And again, that may come off selfish, but I'm okay with right now being, that person that has to put that oxygen mask on first. And when I say oxygen mask, I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about, but if not, I want to be able to have
Mm,
that extra breath to make sure that I can guide my kids. I can guide, the people that need, because I have to show up
yeah.
for me first. And it's essential. It's really essential to be able to navigate through things. You got to be able to be alive. You got to be
Right.
able to breathe.
Well, you got to
You
be
know what I
able
mean?
to do them yourself first before you can show someone else how to do it, right?
Right.
If you're
Yeah.
not doing it for yourself, how can you
Right.
show someone
And
else
it's a
how to do
selfish
that?
place.
And
Like, my job is
yeah,
to live. And again, I'm not saying I wouldn't take a bullet for one of my kids or somebody, but for I think I would die for my kids, and I don't like to say I would die for other people, but realistically, my job is to live. You know what I mean? But I would probably jump in front of a bullet just because that's how I am. But I don't, because I think it's kind of tacky. But I think, showing up consistently, and my daily rituals, it consists of me being able to strive and live on a daily basis, however I need to do it. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm like, my education is coming first. I want to be able to, be able to provide, but I got to learn what I need to learn so I can be able to provide in a way that
right,
I can go off on my own and do it. Because you
right.
don't know what you don't know. And right now, I'm in the mode where I'm like, I need to get the information, because I'm not going to go into the world and like expect people to believe me and trust me and know me if I don't have the right tools to be able to, to guide people where what they're looking for. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's essential for me to show up for me, and be able to put this oxygen mask on and show up for my kids, show up for myself, show up for my lady, and to be able to push forward. Because again, there's a lot that I'm doing and I feel great about it. I'm not complaining. I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I get up, I go to work every day, other than today, because today we were supposed to go out to California, but the roads weren't allowing us. But I get up every day and I go to work. I work a lot of hours and make sure that I provide for us so that lady's able to stay here, take Justin to school, pick him up, and guide him through the daily routines when I'm off at work. So for me, the essential, ritual for me is getting up, providing what I need to provide for right now. And then as long as I'm consistent, I feel like I'm going to be able to stay home and work. At some point I will be able to stay here and work from home and then go out and, travel and do things that we want to do. But again, it's staying consistent and staying and showing up for myself, because it's very important right now.
And I
Because
think sometimes that means saying no, right, to some things while everyone's out doing, the fun stuff. It's being here. And I know that's something that we've, both struggled with, right? And it's because we've worked our whole lives,
straight up.
and we don't want to feel like we're missing out, but we do sometimes have to buckle down and say, I'm not, I'm going to sit this one out, and be focused on what it is we're doing so that we can have that success, and we can be able to stay home and be with our families, be with the ones that we want to be with, right? I mean, I want to build something where we're able to go and see family, because it's important to me.
You could cry. Go ahead. You know what I mean? It feels good to be able to go and travel. It feels good to be able to show up for other people. You know what I mean? Like today, we supposed to be down to my boy TJ's, see my sister Renee, go see Annie. You know what I mean? My sister Yuri was going to be there too. And I'm kind of upset. I'm like not upset about anything other than the dang weather. You know what I mean? Like, man, I was really, 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 really planning on this being an event. You know what I mean? Like it was supposed to be whatever. It is what it is. We could have drove, but I didn't want to have to put chains on the vehicle and go over this. It's a very dangerous road over Donner Pass, over on the Sierra Mountains. It's right now, I think it's even closed down. But the point is showing up for myself doesn't always mean I get what I want, but I'm showing up nonetheless. I'm making sure I'm showing up every day consistently, being consistent, and doing these daily routines and daily rituals that I need to succeed in. And here I am, showing up, showing out. I even smell good. This I love how I feel. I love how I look. I love how I am, and I'm working more and more toward being a better me. So consistently showing up for me is key right now, you guys. And we're really glad to have all of you who are on here now with us on Valentine's Day. You guys could be anywhere in the world, but you guys are here with us, and that means a lot. That right there, it means a lot, because relationships to me they're gonna outgrow money any day. Because again, if this internet stopped, if electricity turned off and we didn't have all this, we would still have the relationships that we built. And I know people that will show up for me right now, legitly. Like I have people right now that I could count on that would be able to show up for me, because they know I'll do it for them, and vice versa. So it's a really good feeling to have that when people trust you with their keys to their home and to watching their children and things that are like essential for us to have a bonding relationship. But it seems like a lot of stuff is kind of fading in the world of like, you don't have sleepovers anymore. Kids don't, like it's kind of like you don't really see that anymore. Maybe you guys do, but I don't hear about it. I don't see it. And it's kind of sad. But showing up for myself every day, I want to make an impact on the world in the best way possible. I'm gonna leave this earth, and I'm gonna leave a dent in the best way. I really am. I have a lot to impact with people. I have a lot to bring, and it's just starting. Like my life is really like just starting. So if I've gone this far in a year, can you imagine how far I'm gonna be by next year? I'm so excited, because man, I've come so far. Woo! I've come really far, and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of who I am, and I'm gonna keep showing up for me on days like this. No matter what's going on, I'm gonna show up consistently. I make impact, and I love that. I feel like the world needs someone like me. The world needs someone like you. The world needs people like us to be able to show up, and show out for what we really are. Because the day I stop showing up, like I feel like that's when, for me, I just need to continue doing what I'm doing. The world does need people like me, and there's people waiting for me to show up at my best, so that I can teach and provide and help other people get through what they got to get through. Because I am a motivator, and I am hype man. I am the most hype person I know, and I know some hype people out there, but I literally am one of the most hype people I know in the whole world. So, and I love that, and I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm my cup of tea. I'm my cup of tea, and I appreciate me, and I love what I'm doing for myself, my family, and you guys. There's several that I'll show up. I know I'll show up. And I know several people that are showing up for me. So again, creating daily rituals for success it was the key topic today, and I'm glad we got to touch on that on Valentine's Day, because there's a lot to say about showing up for yourself on a daily basis and having a ritual of making sure that you show up for you, because nobody's gonna do it like me, for me, but me. Right. You know what I mean? Amen to that. Yeah. So you got anything else you want to add?
No, you said it all.
Sometimes I get on a rant, sometimes I get but I feel good when I say when I really mean it, it. I'm coming with, that authentic, from my gut. I feel like when it's really raw and it's real, like that's when I know it's from the heart. So speaking of heart, happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys. Like I said, thank you all for showing up and being a part of this podcast. We go live Wednesdays and Fridays. We're doing this for you guys. We're doing this for us. And, we want to be known, liked, and trusted. So this is all part of the plan for us to grow bigger and be able to have bigger and better things. And we got some music finally going, and we're going to work out this thing, be able to see you guys' comments, because it's not, we would love to see that, but that is not like, it's not essential at the moment, because although we do want to interact with you guys and see what you're saying, for whatever reason, it's not working. So we're going to figure that out at some point. But thank you guys again so much for showing up for our podcast, Just Like Us. And wait, let me touch on, we were supposed to be down at a close friend of ours tonight to be able to have for this first live. And I'm, like I said, I'm really kind of bummed about it, but it is what it is. Safety first, right? So we weren't able to, because I did mention in the last podcast that we were going to have an amazing guest for our first guest coming up, and unfortunately that didn't happen. So, but we pivoted. We made it. We showed up for us on Valentine's Day, dressed to impress. I hope you guys like our outfits, because happy Valentine's Day, though.
Because we do.
Right, yeah. But again, thank you guys so much for showing up. And to all you guys out there, happy Valentine's Day. And until next time, love you guys. Peace. Just like us.
Love you.
Love y'all.